I am talking to you about altruism. I'll give you 3 examples of altruistic behavior of people who have done it, and then maybe it's for you to choose that which suits you best. There is this gentleman called Alok Sagar. Some of you must have heard of him. He is a doctorate from the Texas University, an ex-professor at IIT Delhi, and he has spent 32 years of his life living in Madhya Pradesh, helping the tribals of that community. Mr. Sagar has done a lot of good for the community, but in the process earned nothing except that long white beard that you see, and a fitness got out of cycling regularly everywhere. This is not the only example of people who have given up their lives for the benefit of others. There is a beautiful book which I think is called Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish, and it talks about several IITians who have given up their lucrative careers to help benefit people in their community. There are a few other books which talks of people from the Indian Institute of Management and other young achievers who have given up their lucrative lives for the benefit of others. These are examples of people who just gave up all that they had to make others live better. There must be something about why they did all this. This is one genre of altruists. Another are people like me and my wife. We sold our lives for 60 years for the best bidder, not very successfully, and then accidentally after retirement stumbled into this career where we thought of doing good for the rest of the community. 20 years now, there has been some degree of satisfaction. It all happened by accident. There was this villager whom I encountered in my new abode in this village called Purkul, who had won his master's degree but believed that he was exceptionally capable because he has done his master's degree, but was being discriminated against and therefore was unable to get a job. Truth it was that this chap was unemployable although he was a master's degree holder. He had merely transmitted from one grade to another and ended up with a master's degree. I did want to at that point of time tell him and many others in the community that education was a transformational exercise, not a mere gathering of paper. And that is why I stumbled into this life, and I don't know how to get out of this chakravahu. Get in and don't know how to get out of it. I am stuck. But it has been a very, very satisfying experience. 20 years nearly now, we have benefited nearly 500 and odd young people, young boys and girls, whom we take on from the age of 3 and then keep them with us until the age of 18 and attempt to provide them the sort of advantage through education that this school provides its own children. Our children pay nothing. 90% of them come from homes which do not have a toilet. Their families defecate in the open. They have no drinking water. But at the end of their stay with us, they will be able to compete effectively in life with the ones who go out of a school like this. It costs a lot of money, but it is all done through charity. We have many, many cases which are so satisfying to recall. I will recall only 2 cases for your benefit. One of them is an young boy who came to us, whom we noticed at about 12 years of age, who had already been with us, and we noticed that there was a growth in his eyes, and we consulted doctors who told us that if that was not removed, he could grow blind very soon. So we got into this commitment to remove that growth, and what has happened is remarkable. That boy is not only a bright student today, but is a very, very competent artist. Could I this boy is created pictures and drawings and paintings which have won national awards, and he is hoping to be a designer in his life. And then I have other wonderful stories of people who have succeeded. This boy, Ankit Naudiyal, is somebody who is the son of assistant in a kirana dukan, and he is now a systems engineer, senior systems engineer with Infosys. Jyoti Mamgain is the daughter of one of our workers in our Sri Shakti division, which is another division I shall presently talk to you about, and she is now doing her IB program in United World College in Thailand. And the last one is a girl who is the daughter of a gatekeeper. Her mother sells vegetables on the platform, and she is now studying her masters in an American university. So these are some of the few cases of successes. There are many, many others who are all looking forward to a life which is fulfilling, and after age 25, nearly all our children will be able to compete for positions in life which are the right of those who study in schools such as this, paying significant money. We provide our children comprehensive education and good health care, guaranteed health care, and comprehensive nutrition. Many of my children stay in a hostel which is again free. This is the second example of people who are able to have a second career. The first one is over at age 60, and then a second career which is perhaps more fulfilling than the first. I told you that I am in a Chakravyahu where I don't know how to get out of it, so this position is available. Such as those wanting to get into it as a second career, you are most welcome. Your second career can be longer than your first career thanks to the life expectancy which is growing. There are many other stories of people. I know a person who started a place called Give India. He gave up a very promising career, and it's now a great institution providing succor and support to non-government organizations. There's another young person who started Teach for India, and she has made a big difference to teachers' availability at schools which could never afford them. There's yet another one whom I know very well, who is running a place called Hunt's Foundation, which is doing a lot of good to Uttarakhand and to many other parts of India. There are many stories. I know another lady who was a second career, now getting on to handling street children, and so on. So this is a great opportunity. But why do people do things like this? What drives them? Before I get to that, I would also like to tell you that we spend nearly 5 crores and more every year. We have been doing it for the last 3 years. And this is because of 500 plus volunteers who support us regularly from year to year. What makes them committed to this cause? Why do they do this? That's a question that people keep asking me. Is your place sustainable? Because you have no revenue streams, and yet you do this model. I think this is extremely sustainable because we have these 500 plus people who believe this is a cause that needs to be supported, and they do that for some sort of an inner satisfaction that they have. Many of you know better than me about, because I am no student of psychology, but I have heard about Maslow's theory, the hierarchy of human needs. And Maslow propounds the idea that self-actualization happens when you do your utmost, your best. And that's what drives you to do what you do. And he went ahead further and said that such self-actualization really happens when you do it for something beyond yourself, for the benefit of somebody else altruistically, or for spirituality. And all these people who give me donations to help me run this place are doing this because of this desire for self-actualization or self-transcendence. And this seems to be a very powerful motive And therefore, although I have attrition every year of 10% in my list of donors, the net number who support me from year to year has been steadily growing. Of course, I ask, and one of my skills is to beg. But the number of people who respond to it very generously is phenomenal. All that I need to ensure is that there is transparency, honesty, credibility, and I deliver the mission the way the mission needs to be delivered. So these 500 people have helped us support about 500 children. We have also another initiative which is meant for the empowerment of women. We have about 170 women today who are all not wage earners, but they are entrepreneurs. They are learning to organize, to manage a business and make a living in the process, and it's not just about earning money. It's about beginning to believe that they are individuals, that they are women and equal to the men in their own rights, and many of them are today earning better than their counterpart men. And they are become leaders not only among themselves but in the community. Panchayat presidents who come out to them are genuine leaders of the community. So that's another initiative, which is the one related to women. We call that the Purukul Sri Shakti Samiti, and we wish to grow that as well. And the type of giving that you can do is not merely about giving money. It can be in a million other ways. I talked to you about donors. Not all of them are big donors. Some of them are very small donors. We have many volunteers. We have had more than 65 of them coming and spending time with us between a week and 6 months. Many of those who work with me are those who get a salary, but who work not because they cannot get a different job with a bigger salary. They do this because there is so much joy in being able to watch and witness the growth of others. So I really propose that each one of you consider the possibility of getting on to giving in whichever way you can. It is the most satisfying and rewarding way of spending your life. I spent 40 years of my life trying to sell it, not very successfully, but I now know that the 30 years that I have now spent doing this work for no reward, monetary reward. I have had the greatest reward of my soul satisfaction. My wife has enjoyed it very much. We both live a very active and good life, and I would commend the idea of giving it in some small ways, being a volunteer, giving a part of your time, giving any way you can. And the best way you can really give is to give yourself entirely and completely. It is the most rewarding of all forms of giving. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.